Have you ever poured your heart into a YouTube video only to watch it get views for 48 hours and then nothing? Why does YouTube seem to punish your hard work instead of rewarding it? Today, I'm going to show you exactly why your videos die after 48 hours and how you can turn your content into something that grows and keeps giving. Stick with me, because this could change the way you create forever. Let's start with a reality check that most creators don't like to admit. You could spend hours, days, even weeks crafting a video, pouring your heart, your knowledge, your energy into it, only to watch it live for a few days, get some initial views, and then completely die after 48 hours. Now, that can feel devastating. You start questioning yourself. Did I fail? Was it the wrong topic? Is my content bad? And here's the thing, you're not alone. Every YouTube creator, from beginners to seasoned influencers, faces this reality. And the truth is, this isn't about failure. This is about understanding the system, the 48-hour algorithm window. You see, YouTube doesn't judge your video over weeks or months. It doesn't slowly introduce it to audiences over time. Instead, it gives it a very short, very intense trial period. Usually that period is roughly 48 hours. Think of it as YouTube saying, okay, here's your chance. Let's see what your audience thinks. Let's see if people are going to watch, engage, and share. If you can prove your video is worthy in this short window, then we'll continue to give it life. This short window is why so many videos die early. YouTube's algorithm is not human. It doesn't feel your passion. It doesn't understand your effort. It doesn't care about your hours of research or your late nights editing. It only cares about results in that very early window. How long are people watching? Are they clicking it when they see it in their feed? Are they commenting and sharing? That's the reality. The 48-hour window is essentially the video's audition. It's like stepping on stage in front of an audience for the first time. You've got 2 days to impress, to hook people, to get them to respond. And if you don't hit those marks, YouTube quietly moves on and your video starts to fade into obscurity. Many creators panic when they see these numbers. They think their video failed, their message wasn't good enough, their idea wasn't valuable. But the reality is, the video hasn't failed, it just hasn't passed the algorithm's early test yet. And that test is designed to be fast because YouTube has millions of videos uploaded every day. They can't spend weeks figuring out which ones might be good. They need a quick, data-driven signal. And that signal comes from the first 48 hours of viewership. Now, here's where strategy becomes critical. If you understand the 48-hour window, you start to realize that the first hours after upload are the most important in your entire YouTube career. It's not about posting and walking away. It's about actively promoting, sharing, and engaging with your audience as soon as your video goes live. Every click, every watch minute, every like, every comment sends a signal to YouTube that says, this content is worth recommending. The more strong signals you get during that initial period, the more YouTube will start showing your video to other viewers beyond your immediate audience. And here's the mindset shift that can transform the way you approach video creation. The algorithm isn't your enemy. It's a feedback system. The 48-hour window is not punishment, it's information. It tells you immediately whether your title is compelling enough, whether your thumbnail grabs attention, whether the opening 30 seconds of your video captivates viewers, whether your content aligns with your audience's expectations. You don't have to guess. You can see what works and what doesn't very quickly. That's power. Instead of spending weeks wondering why a video isn't performing, you have almost immediate insight. You have the ability to learn, adjust, and improve. Some creators try to game the system. They think if they use clickbait or manipulate trends, they can stretch the 48-hour window in their favor. But that's a short-term solution, and it rarely works long-term. YouTube is designed to reward value, engagement, and retention. The algorithm doesn't just look at clicks, it looks at watch time, audience retention, comments, and whether people are coming back to watch more of your content. In other words, the 48-hour window is less about tricking the system and more about genuinely connecting with your audience right away. The stronger your connection, the better your video performs, the more momentum you build beyond that short window. Understanding this window also helps you plan your uploads strategically. Timing, promotion, and community engagement all matter. You want your core audience ready and waiting for your video at the moment it drops. You want them to watch fully, comment, share, and engage. Those first 48 hours can literally define the trajectory of your video. You want to treat it like a launch, not just hitting publish. And when you do that consistently, you start to see patterns. You learn which types of content resonate immediately, which thumbnails and titles draw attention, which formats keep people watching. That knowledge becomes your most powerful tool for future growth, turning those short bursts into sustained momentum. When it comes to YouTube's success, there's one factor that consistently separates the videos that thrive from the ones that fizzle out after 48 hours, and that factor is audience retention. Now, let me explain this in a way that will make sense whether you're a seasoned creator or just starting out. Audience retention is simply how long people stay watching your video from the first second to the last. Sounds simple, right? But here's the thing. The algorithm treats retention like a heartbeat. It's a pulse check on whether your content is truly engaging, whether it's worth keeping in front of more viewers. You can have the most polished video in the world, the highest production quality, even a viral topic, but if people click away after 10 seconds, YouTube reads that as a signal that your content isn't holding attention, and it will stop recommending your video to others. Think about it this way. Imagine you walk into a room where someone is giving a speech. If people start leaving halfway through, the host notices. YouTube is essentially that host. It wants to show content that keeps people in the room. The longer viewers stay, the stronger the signal that the video is valuable. And the first 30 seconds in particular are the most critical. That's your make or break moment. You need a hook that grabs attention immediately, an opening that resonates, a promise that makes people say, I need to watch this till the end. Without that, you might have a beautiful video, but it becomes invisible in the eyes of the algorithm because retention never got a chance to build. Audience retention isn't just about keeping viewers glued to the screen. It's also about understanding the flow and pacing of your content. Groeschel often emphasizes clarity and structure in communication, And the same principle applies to YouTube. Each segment of your video needs to serve a purpose. Each story, example, or point should pull viewers further in. If your video meanders, if it has long introductions without substance, or if your message isn't clear, people will lose interest. Retention drops, the algorithm notices, and the video dies after that critical 4-8 hour window. On the other hand, if you maintain a strong, engaging narrative, if you tease valuable insights and deliver on them consistently throughout, viewers are more likely to stay, increasing your retention rate and signaling to YouTube that your content deserves more exposure. Another key aspect of retention is understanding your audience. You need to know who they are, what they care about, and what problems they're trying to solve. The better you understand them, the more effectively you can craft content that keeps them watching. This is why some creators struggle. They focus on what they think is interesting rather than what their audience wants. YouTube rewards creators who speak directly to their viewers' interests, who answer questions, solve problems, and provide value that keeps people engaged. Audience retention is not just a metric, it's feedback on whether you're truly connecting with your audience. Retention also affects watch time, which is one of the most important metrics on YouTube. Watch time is the cumulative minutes people spend watching your videos. High retention contributes directly to higher watch time, and higher watch time signals to the algorithm that your channel is valuable. It's a cycle. Better retention leads to more watch time. More watch time leads to more recommendations, and more recommendations lead to even higher retention potential as your content reaches people who are more likely to engage. But the cycle starts with retention. If viewers leave early, your watch time suffers, your video is deprioritized, and the cycle never gets started. One practical way to improve retention is to think about storytelling. Groeschel often talks about the power of narrative in capturing attention. A compelling story creates curiosity and emotional investment. Viewers stick around because they want to see what happens next. Whether it's a personal anecdote, a step-by-step tutorial, or a motivational insight, structuring your content like a story keeps your audience engaged. Another technique is to use pacing strategically. Mix visuals, cutaways, and on-screen graphics to maintain energy and prevent monotony. Break your content into digestible segments that continually provide value and give viewers a reason to stay until the end. Engagement hooks throughout the video also improve retention. Asking questions, prompting comments, or teasing information to be revealed later encourages viewers to stick around. It's not manipulation. It's a strategy to keep your audience invested in thinking. The algorithm notices these behaviors. When viewers interact with your content, it signals that your video is compelling, and retention improves as a result. Finally, remember that retention is both a creative and analytical process. You can study your analytics to see exactly where people drop off, which sections lose attention, and which keep viewers engaged. This insight allows you to refine your content over time, testing new formats, hooks, and styles until you find what resonates most with your audience. The higher your retention, the more likely your video will escape the 48-hour death zone and continue to grow beyond that initial period. When it comes to YouTube success, there's one undeniable truth. No matter how incredible your content is, If people don't click your video in the first place, nothing else matters. You can have flawless production, compelling storytelling, and life-changing insights. But if the title and thumbnail fail to grab attention, your video will quietly fade into obscurity. This is why clickable titles and thumbnails are not just optional. They are absolutely critical. Think of them as the front door to your content. If the door doesn't invite people in, they won't even step inside to experience the value you've worked so hard to create. A title is more than just a label. It's a promise. It's a first impression. And YouTube users make split-second decisions based on it. Studies show that most viewers decide whether to click a video in less than 5 seconds. That means your title has to capture attention instantly. It has to provoke curiosity, spark emotion, or offer a clear benefit. One of the biggest mistakes creators make is using vague or generic titles like My Daily Thoughts or Some Tips About Life. These titles don't tell the viewer why they should invest their time. Your title needs to communicate relevance and value in a way that makes them think, I need to watch this right now, and it has to be truthful. Clickbait might get an initial click, but if the content doesn't deliver, retention drops, engagement suffers, and the algorithm punishes your video. Thumbnails are equally important and often underestimated. A thumbnail is like a mini poster for your video, a visual headline that can make or break your click-through rate. People are naturally drawn to images that are bold, clear, and emotionally resonant. Faces with expressive emotions, high contrast colors, readable text, and visual storytelling cues perform best. Think about it when you scroll through your feed, what catches your eye? Usually, it's a thumbnail that quickly communicates emotion, action, or curiosity. Creating a thumbnail is not just a design task, it's a marketing task. You are packaging your video in a way that immediately tells the viewer, this is worth your attention. But here's the subtle truth, that most creators miss at titles and thumbnails must work together. They are a team. A great thumbnail paired with a weak title or a catchy title paired with a confusing thumbnail will reduce your click-through rate. The combination of the two should create a sense of intrigue while clearly signaling the video's value. This requires thinking like your audience. What question are they asking? What problem are they trying to solve? What emotion do you want them to feel when they see your video? When your title and thumbnail answer these questions, your click-through rate improves, your video gets more traction in the first critical 48 hours, and the algorithm begins to notice. Another principle Craig Groeschel often emphasizes is authenticity combined with strategy. You don't want your titles and thumbnails to be misleading or sensationalist. The goal is not to trick people. The goal is to attract the right audience. When you promise value in your title and thumbnail and deliver on that promise, you build trust. YouTube rewards trust. Viewers return to your content repeatedly, retention improves, and your channel grows sustainably. That's the difference between short-term spikes from clickbait and long-term growth from genuinely clickable content. Timing also plays a role. The first few hours after publishing are when your title and thumbnail matter the most. You want to make sure they are optimized before the video goes live. Sometimes small tweaks, adjusting the wording, changing the color of the text, or adding a more expressive face can significantly improve clicks. YouTube provides analytics for click-through rates, so you can test and refine. Successful creators constantly analyze what works and what doesn't, adjusting future titles and thumbnails based on real data, not guesswork. Emotional triggers are another key element. Humans respond to curiosity, urgency, and relevance. Words like how, why, secrets, tips, and mistakes can generate clicks because they promise knowledge or insight. Similarly, visuals that hint at transformation, struggle, or achievement tend to attract viewers because people want to see results and solutions. Your title and thumbnail should hint at a story or a revelation that viewers feel compelled to discover. Finally, consider the consistency of your branding. If someone recognizes your style, your colors, your logo, or your thumbnail design, they are more likely to click because they already trust you. Many successful YouTubers use a consistent template for thumbnails and phrasing in titles, which builds familiarity and encourages repeat viewers. This consistency doesn't just improve clicks, it reinforces your brand and your authority within your niche. When it comes to YouTube, there's one powerful truth that separates videos that fade quickly from those that grow and thrive: engagement signals. Likes, comments, shares, and even the watch duration of viewers are more than just numbers. They are messages to YouTube telling the algorithm, this content is valuable. Recommend it to more people. And here's the thing many creators overlook. Engagement is not optional. It's not a nice to have metric. It's the lifeblood of your video's success. Without strong engagement, even the most well-crafted video can die after 48 hours. You can produce excellent content, but if people aren't interacting with it, YouTube will quietly move on and show other content that generates stronger signals. Engagement signals are essentially proof that your content resonates. When viewers take action, liking your video, leaving a comment, sharing it with friends, they are telling both you and YouTube that your content has meaning, value, or entertainment. And here's the fascinating part. YouTube notices every interaction. It tracks not just whether someone clicked, but whether they stayed, how long they watched, whether they returned for more videos, and whether they actively engaged by commenting or sharing. Each one of these actions is like a vote of confidence in your content. The more votes you get early on, the higher the algorithm ranks your video, and the more likely it is to survive beyond that critical 48-hour window. Craig Groeschel often emphasizes the power of influence through action, and engagement is the digital version of that principle. It's one thing to create inspiring content. It's another to motivate your audience to act. Asking your viewers to like, comment, or share isn't begging. It's inviting them to participate in a conversation. The best creators understand this and integrate calls to action naturally into their videos. For example, a simple prompt like, comment below what you think about this idea, or share this with someone who needs to hear this today, encourages interaction without being pushy. And every single comment or share sends a signal to the algorithm that your content is meaningful and worth promoting. But engagement is about more than just counting interactions. It's about creating content that sparks them. Videos that evoke emotion, spark curiosity, or challenge conventional thinking naturally inspire viewers to engage. When people feel strongly about what they're watching, whether it's excitement, agreement, surprise, or even disagreement, they're more likely to leave a comment, click the like button, or share it with someone else. That's why content that's purely informational, but delivered without personality or emotional connection often struggles. YouTube rewards content that provokes a reaction because it keeps viewers coming back for more. Another important factor is timing. Early engagement is critical. The first 48 hours after your video goes live are the most important because this is when the algorithm decides whether your content is worthy of being recommended further. If your core audience likes, comments, and shares within this window, your video gains momentum, increasing the likelihood of being shown to new viewers outside your immediate subscriber base. But if engagement is low early on, even great content can fade quickly. That's why strategic promotion, sharing your video with your audience, encouraging early interaction, and fostering community engagement is so crucial. Community is a huge part of engagement. Groeschel often talks about the importance of building authentic relationships with your audience. YouTube rewards creators who cultivate active communities because engaged communities produce more signals for the algorithm. Replying to comments, acknowledging viewers, and fostering discussions encourages others to participate. When viewers see that their voices matter, they become more invested in your content. They return, they interact, and your videos continue to thrive. Engagement becomes a cycle. The more people engage, the more the algorithm rewards your video, which leads to more engagement, which leads to more reach. Lastly, engagement is a measurement of your content's relevance and value. If people are not interacting, it's a sign to reflect, refine, and improve. The algorithm gives you feedback based on real human behavior, and the more you listen, the better you can craft content that resonates. Strong engagement doesn't just help individual videos succeed. It builds long-term credibility for your channel, creating a loyal audience that watches, interacts, and shares consistently, which ultimately powers sustainable growth on YouTube. One of the biggest reasons videos die after 48 hours is a lack of alignment between the content and the audience. You might be creating incredible videos full of insight, inspiration, and value, but if your content isn't tailored to the right audience, or if your audience isn't clearly defined, your videos can struggle to gain traction. Groeschel often emphasizes clarity and intentionality in communication, and the same principle applies to YouTube. You cannot reach everyone, and trying to do so often waters down your message. The key is understanding who you are speaking to, what they care about, and what problems they need solved. When your content aligns with a well-defined audience, the algorithm recognizes engagement, retention improves, and your videos have a much better chance of thriving beyond that critical 48-hour window. Niche clarity is crucial. A niche is not just a topic, it's a focus, a consistent area where you can provide authority, insight, or entertainment. Some creators think being broad is better because they want to reach everyone, but YouTube works differently. The platform wants to know exactly who your content is so it can recommend it to the right people. If your channel jumps from motivational speeches to cooking tutorials to gaming, the algorithm struggles to understand your audience, and your videos often underperform. Focusing on a clear niche allows you to develop a loyal following, improve retention, and signal to YouTube that your content is relevant and valuable to a specific audience. Audience alignment goes beyond demographics or topics. It's about understanding mindset, challenges, and desires. Craig Groeschel often speaks about meeting people where they are, speaking directly to their hearts, and creating messages that resonate with real life struggles. On YouTube, this means creating content that answers questions your audience is asking, addresses their pain points, or inspires them toward action. The closer your content is to the audience's needs and aspirations, the more likely they are to engage, watch longer, comment, and share. And all of these signals are precisely what the algorithm tracks during the first 48 hours. Misaligned content doesn't generate those signals, and as a result, the video dies quickly. Consistency is another part of niche and audience alignment. Your audience should know what to expect from your channel and why they should return. Craig Groeschel emphasizes patterns and repetition in messaging to build understanding and trust. And the same applies here. If your viewers subscribe because of motivational content and then see a completely unrelated video, they may click away. But if every video consistently delivers what your audience came for, retention increases, engagement grows, and your channel develops momentum over time. YouTube rewards creators who demonstrate a consistent purpose and value. Another essential element is authenticity. Audience alignment is not about imitating trends blindly or trying to predict what will go viral. It's about understanding who you are as a creator, what your strengths are, and matching that with an audience that resonates with your style and message. Craig Groeschel often talks about leading with authenticity, and YouTube works the same way. When your content feels genuine, your audience trusts you, engages more, and becomes loyal over time. Misalignment, on the other hand, leads to viewers leaving quickly, low retention, and early death for your videos. Data plays a vital role in understanding niche and audience alignment. YouTube Analytics provides insights into who is watching your videos, their age, location, watch patterns, and which videos keep them engaged. By studying these patterns, you can refine your content strategy, tailor your messages more effectively, and ensure each video is designed for the people who are most likely to respond positively. This is not guesswork, it's strategic creation. It's about giving the algorithm signals that your content is hitting the mark with the right audience, which dramatically increases the chances of long-term success. Finally, understanding the psychology of your audience helps you predict what they will click, watch, and share. Craig Groeschel often emphasizes empathy and connection in leadership, and the same principle applies to YouTube. If you know what your audience struggles with, what excites them, and what inspires them, you can craft videos that feel like they were made just for them. This alignment strengthens every aspect of the 48-hour window, from initial clicks to watch time to engagement signals, creating a feedback loop that encourages the algorithm to keep showing your videos to the right viewers and ensures that your channel grows with momentum. One of the most overlooked secrets to YouTube success is consistency. Many creators focus solely on making individual videos great, hoping that one viral hit will carry their channel. But the truth, which Craig Groeschel often emphasizes in his teachings about leadership and perseverance is that real growth comes from showing up consistently and building momentum over time. YouTube is a platform that rewards patterns, predictability, and sustained effort. Each video you release sends signals to the algorithm, but it is the ongoing rhythm of uploads that truly shapes your channel's trajectory. Without consistency, even high-quality content struggles to gain traction beyond the first 48 hours. Consistency is not just about posting videos on a regular schedule. It's about creating a recognizable rhythm and expectation for your audience. When viewers know when to expect new content from you, they are more likely to return, watch fully, and engage. Groeschel often talks about the power of reliability in leadership. The same principle applies to YouTube. A channel that uploads once a month might have occasional spikes, but a channel that uploads consistently every week builds trust, engagement, and momentum. Momentum compounds over time, and this is exactly what the algorithm rewards. YouTube's system notices patterns and starts to favor channels that consistently deliver value to their audience. Momentum is the second part of this principle. Each video builds upon the last. When you consistently publish content that resonates with your audience, you create a body of work that keeps people coming back. Every video is an opportunity to gain subscribers, increase watch time, and generate engagement signals. These cumulative effects enhance the performance of future videos. In other words, the more consistent you are, the more leverage you build. Momentum doesn't just happen. It's the natural outcome of repeated effort, strategic focus, and persistence over time. One challenge many creators face is the temptation to wait for perfection before posting. They spend weeks or months polishing one video, thinking it needs to be flawless to succeed. Groeschel often teaches that progress is more powerful than perfection. The same applies to YouTube. Consistently showing up, even with small imperfections, teaches your audience to expect and engage with your content. Each upload becomes part of a rhythm that strengthens your channel, trains your viewers, and signals to the algorithm that your channel is active and worthy of recommendation. Waiting for perfection often stalls momentum, which can be more damaging than minor flaws in a video. Consistency also strengthens the connection with your audience. Groeschel frequently emphasizes building relationships and trust over time. YouTube works the same way. When you show up consistently, viewers develop a habit of watching your content. They begin to rely on your channel for information, inspiration, or entertainment. This habitual engagement increases watch time, improves retention, and creates a base of loyal viewers who are more likely to like, comment, and share. Those engagement signals are precisely what helps videos survive past the 48-hour threshold and continue growing. Another aspect of consistency is content structure. Audiences respond positively to predictability and format. If your videos consistently follow a clear pattern, whether it's a motivational story, a step-by-step tutorial, or a thought-provoking discussion, viewers know what to expect and are more likely to stay engaged. Groeschel often emphasizes clarity and structure in communication, and the same principle applies here. Structured content, combined with a regular posting schedule, reinforces audience habits, increases retention, and signals to the algorithm that your videos are valuable. Analytics also play a role in maintaining consistency and momentum. By monitoring what works and what doesn't, you can refine your content strategy while maintaining a regular posting rhythm. Each upload becomes a learning opportunity, helping you improve future videos while keeping your schedule intact. Momentum comes not just from repetition, but from thoughtful iteration. Channels that consistently post and adapt based on audience response and data feedback build long-term growth and resilience. Finally, momentum amplifies the effects of the 48-hour window. While one video might struggle on its own, consistent uploads increase the likelihood that your audience will watch multiple videos in succession, boosting overall watch time and engagement. Groeschel often talks about compounding influence, and on YouTube, compounding momentum works the same way. Each video contributes to the next, creating a snowball effect that increases visibility, strengthens your channel's reputation, and gives your content a much greater chance to survive and thrive beyond those critical first 2 days. One of the most powerful strategies for YouTube success that many creators overlook is the willingness to experiment, learn, and optimize. Groeschel often talks about the importance of adaptability in leadership. How true growth comes not just from doing what you already know, but from exploring, testing, and refining. The same principle applies to YouTube. The platform is constantly evolving, viewer behaviors shift, and trends emerge and fade quickly. If you rely solely on a formula that worked once, you risk stagnation. Experimentation is the key to discovering what resonates with your audience and ensuring that your videos survive and thrive beyond the first 48 hours. Experimentation begins with the mindset that every video is a learning opportunity. Even if a video doesn't perform as expected, it provides invaluable insight into audience preferences, retention patterns, and engagement behaviors. Groeschel often emphasizes the importance of feedback and reflection in personal growth, and this applies perfectly to content creation. Instead of fearing a video's poor performance, view it as a source of information. Which sections held attention? Which segments caused viewers to drop off? Which thumbnails and titles generated the most clicks? Every data point is feedback, a tool to improve the next video and strengthen your channel over time. One of the simplest forms of experimentation is testing different formats. Perhaps one video is a storytelling style motivational piece, another is a quick tip-based tutorial, and another is a live Q&A. By observing which formats generate higher retention, engagement, and click-through rates, you can refine your approach. The key is consistency within experimentation. You don't want to confuse your audience by changing too much at once, but small, strategic tests help you learn what works and what doesn't. Groeschel often reminds leaders that calculated risks drive growth, and on YouTube, calculated experimentation does the same for creators. Learning from analytics is also essential. YouTube provides a wealth of data, audience retention graphs, click-through rates, traffic sources, demographics, and engagement metrics. But it's not enough to glance at these numbers. You need to dig in, understand the story they tell, and apply those lessons to future videos. Which topics are your audience most interested in? Which parts of your video capture attention, and where do viewers lose interest? This level of analysis allows you to optimize both content and strategy. Over time, you build a knowledge base that significantly increases your chances of creating videos that perform well in the critical 48-hour window and beyond. Optimization also involves refining your titles, thumbnails, and calls to action based on feedback and results. A slight change in wording, color, or visual presentation can dramatically improve click-through rates. Experimenting with these elements is not guesswork, it's strategy. Groeschel often emphasizes intentional action in leadership, and this principle translates perfectly to YouTube. Intentional adjustments guided by observation and data enable your videos to reach their fullest potential. Another key component of experimentation is understanding audience behavior and psychology. Test different ways of engaging viewers, asking questions, prompting comments, or using storytelling hooks. Try different pacing, visual styles, or emotional appeals. Each experiment provides insight into what resonates most with your audience, which in turn strengthens retention and engagement. Groeschel often highlights the power of empathy and understanding your audience's needs, and YouTube rewards creators who consistently align their content with viewer expectations and desires. It's important to recognize that optimization is a continuous process. The algorithm changes, trends evolve, and viewer expectations shift. What works today may not work tomorrow. Successful creators approach YouTube with a growth mindset, constantly learning, adapting, and testing new strategies. Groeschel teaches that growth rarely comes from comfort zones. It comes from stepping into unknown territory, learning from mistakes, and applying lessons. On YouTube, creators who embrace experimentation and optimization are the ones who sustain long-term success, ensuring that their videos continue to perform and build momentum beyond the first 48 hours. Finally, experimentation is about courage. It requires stepping out of the familiar, trying new approaches, and being willing to fail temporarily in order to learn and grow. Groeschel often reminds people that courage, combined with reflection, creates lasting impact. On YouTube, each video is a chance to test new ideas, refine strategies, and learn from results. By embracing experimentation, learning from every outcome, and optimizing your approach, you equip your channel to not only survive the first 48 hours, but to thrive, grow, and reach a wider audience consistently over time. As we've explored today, understanding why your YouTube videos often die after 48 hours is not about blaming the algorithm or questioning your worth as a creator. It's about clarity, strategy, and intentional action. The 48-hour window, audience retention, clickable titles and thumbnails, engagement signals, niche alignment, consistency, and the willingness to experiment. All of these elements work together to determine whether your content thrives or fades. Each factor is a piece of the puzzle, and mastering them requires focus, patience, and a mindset of growth. Remember, the algorithm is not your enemy, it is your guide. It provides feedback in real time, showing you what resonates, what captures attention, and what inspires action. Instead of seeing low performance as failure, view it as insight. Every video is an opportunity to learn, improve, and grow stronger. When you prioritize your audience, deliver value, and stay consistent, momentum builds. Engagement compounds. Your channel doesn't just survive the first 48 hours, it continues to expand, reaching more people, inspiring more hearts, and making a bigger impact over time. Success on YouTube is not about a single viral video. It's about creating a body of work that speaks to your audience. builds trust, and reflects your unique voice. Every time you show up, deliver value, and refine your craft, you are growing not only your channel, but also your ability to influence, inspire, and make a difference in the lives of others. The tools are in your hands, the strategies are clear, and the opportunity is now. So take what you've learned today, apply it with courage and consistency, and watch your content transform. Your videos have the potential to reach far beyond those first 48 hours, impacting people, building community, and creating a lasting legacy. Keep creating, keep experimenting, and keep showing up, because YouTube rewards those who persist with intention, who lead with authenticity, and who refuse to give up on their vision. Your breakthrough is not just possible. It's inevitable when you commit to learning, growing, and applying these principles.